Hey, there it goes. All right, cool. So we're in. So now we'll just wait for people to join.
We got Shannon in the stream.
All right.
Waiting for everyone else to appear. As you appear, give us a heads up so I know that you're here. And also just curious how everyone is progressing. Are they on schedule? Are they behind? I'm doing good. Oh, Chandra, sorry. I don't know. I keep saying, you know what? It's just, for some reason in my head, I always wanted to say Shannon, but I guess it's Sandra.
I thought you just said Shan, so.
My brain is just filling in gaps.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are a little behind the scope. I wanted to make sure everybody got their money's worth, and so I expanded the scope a good bit, and I think I might have pushed it a little further than I expected. So, I mean, on the bright side, I think everybody's going to get a lot more out of this than even I expected, so I'm excited to see that. I've been seeing some of the projects coming through, and they are, some of the stuff people are building is looking really good. Production-ready stuff. It's looking really solid. I'm excited.
I'm not sure if anyone noticed, but my set looks a little bit different. I have new wood, new lights. Not 100% done, but I think I'm looking better. Need some more flattering lighting, but we're working on that. This says behind, but we're trying to understand actions in Terraform before going into the project. And Shan is saying very busy last week. I mean, it was busy last week for me because it was Canadian Thanksgiving. Actually, I have my second Canadian Thanksgiving tomorrow. And so I've just been really lethargic from all the eating. But again, I hear that in the U.S. that you take Thanksgiving a lot more seriously than us Canadians.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal. I'm pretty excited about it, actually.
But is there a particular Thanksgiving or movie that you like or you watched, Eric?
Me personally, no. I might turn on some football games overall. I just find the first thing I can marathon and binge, and I just sleep through most of it. I know, like, for some reason, I used to watch House MD like many years ago, and now when Thanksgiving comes around, I kind of think, oh, actually, I want to watch that again. So it might be that.
Well, that should be interesting. There is I think it came out last year, and I haven't seen it, but there is a horror thriller called Thanksgiving. It sounds chilling. They probably run out of gravy during dinner or something critical.
That is terrifying. That is pretty terrifying, actually. Or overcook the turkey. I mean, that's the worst.
So, what's on the agenda today? Are you going to walk us through something real hard, or?
Yeah, I mean, I won't say it's real hard, but, a lot of people seem to have issues getting a hold of how Open Policy Agent works and how to tie that in. And so I think that would be a good place to kind of fill in some gaps with a little bit of live coding, because it's something that does take a lot of troubleshooting to get right. And I guarantee I'm going to mess something up. The syntax of Rego is not particularly enjoyable, but it does make sense once you get moving through it. So this is a good place for the two of us to be able to kind of iterate and show how to go through a problem like this.
Now, is some of the pain points of the OPA, would it have to do also with maybe how LLMs might generate it out? Like, could there be versioning differences? Because I know that syntax is a bit challenging, even for me. I always have to fiddle with OPA, but what's your thoughts on people trying to use assistance to build OPA?
It had a lot of problems. I've used ChatGPT a little bit to kind of fine tune some things, and it can kind of help, but OPA has had several versioning differences over the past couple of years, and ChatGPT will screw up royally. I had a lot of duplicate rules that didn't work. I had a lot of versions that conflicted, like, for instance, if you import a future feature,
Mm-hmm.
but also use a specific version of OPA that already has that feature, it will actually break the script.
Okay,
It won't
so
just work.
so what I'm hearing is that if you want to make an agent, like an LLM agent specialized to produce OPA code, people might pay for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I have actually been in talks with George about this with StackPack.
Oh, really?
And yeah, I think it might actually, hopefully I'm not breaking any rules here, but I think it's actually going to be on the roadmap. And I know Styra, the creator of OPA, they've been working on a lot of stuff too. So I guess we'll kind of see where it ends up going.
I was using Vercel Zero to help me with the marketing website for the big Gen AI bootcamp, and today it was just working in circles and forgetting a lot. But I went to good old ChatGPT and I was able to get through it. But it's interesting how these things vary and why their intelligence varies. But the thing was that I had to rely on my original coding set and get through it. But that's the challenge here, is these things just aren't 100% there yet. But Derek, why don't we take a look at your screen? Let's start opening up some code and get into the depths of it here.
Yeah.
And maybe before we even do some OPA, just show us the state of your project, because maybe folks that are watching might have specific questions or things around that.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I've definitely done some development of a lot of this stuff off screen, but what I have done is what you can still clone from the repository I shared last week. One second, I am getting it. I just had it on the screen. I swear, I promise.
Oh, that
And now
was
it's gone
another
again.
really bad movie. Like, it wasn't a Thanksgiving movie, but it was Holiday. Did anybody watch Holiday? I did. Or I should say my wife made me watch it with her. But you know what? It was so bad I'd probably watch it twice.
Where did my window go? Sorry, just had it.
So always the
Aha.
classic is the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving movie.
Yeah, of course, of
Yeah.
course.
In my house, we watched a lot of Charlie Brown because my dad's name is Charlie Brown. He was born before Charlie Brown.
Does he go by Chuck now?
Nope. Goes by Charlie.
Okay, here we go.
Or
Found the window.
Sir. I'm just kidding. Anyway, yeah, we'll just wait for your screen to come up here, and
Yep.
we'll get our bearings here.
All right, let's make sure I choose a window, I think. Yeah, a window. I don't think I'll be using anything outside of the window. So, which one is it? Okay, found it. All right, there it is. And yeah, so this is actually the public repository that I have shared, and I've been iterating on it a good bit. I've been using it to film the instructional videos that I have been releasing this week.
Mm-hmm.
And it's alive. It moves with those videos. If I add a feature, the feature is added. So if you clone it today, tomorrow there will be new features added to it. Next week there might even be more. Now, part of the reason behind this is I don't want to spoon feed this whole thing to you, but I do want to progressively help everyone build as I do this and give people ideas as well. Yours should not match this repo exactly at any given point. You should be, customizing things and making it your own. So let's take a look here.
So I got a burning question.
Yep.
How many credits do you have left remaining on your GitHub Codespaces, Derek?
Absolutely zero. I have blown through the free tier by 100%, I think a few days ago, and I don't plan on stopping. Right now, I have a limit set at $60, but I don't think it's going to get close. I think we're probably
For
going to look
those
at maybe
for those
$5.
that are listening here, in my GitHub Fundamentals course, I show you how to set up a second GitHub account and switch between them. It's mostly so we can work with an org, but the great thing is that you can actually easily switch users. You can have your alt user, and then you're basically doubling your capacity for GitHub Codespaces. It would have to add the same person, the variant, to the repo, and then you'd have variations in commit history. But you can absolutely do that to save money if you don't want to spend anything on GitHub Codespaces, or of course work between Gitpod and GitHub Codespaces, whatever you're most comfortable with. But yeah, let's bump up the font here. My old eyes are just failing me. I used to work with the tiniest font, not anymore.
This is where we left it last time, I thought, but that's
I need it
okay.
bigger. I got older in the week.
More. And for everyone who is watching, could you let us know if you have watched the video that I just released yesterday on InfraCost and OPA integration with InfraCost? That'd be great to give me an idea of where you stand. And it's totally fine if you haven't. The editor's at 18. What do you think? 22?
Well, we got to view it and then we'll decide. So yeah, let's bring it up and then let's hop over and take a look. That's good. Yeah.
Okay.
And terminal's fine, I think.
Yeah, so this is a thing that bugs me right here. It freezes the top of this. Like, I think it's a bug. I would assume it's a bug. I might have it in some settings somewhere, but yeah, it freezes the top lines and it's kind of weird. So
yeah, I think it's YAML does that. It's whatever your last scrolled on. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you'd have to disable the YAML plugin to do, if you don't like it, but.
Gotcha. How are we looking down here?
Good. So, can you give us a walkthrough here? I mean, the sidebar is a little bit smart. Can you just bump up your general size here, just so we can see the sidebar of content? Because I think you laid all these things out. We were supposed to have all these things, right? And so maybe what we can do is go to our...
A lot of it comes from the videos that I've released. The drift I haven't released yet. That's something I've been kind of playing with. I kind of released it, but not much.
Okay.
Waiting to see in the chat. I haven't seen anyone respond yet to whether they've watched those videos or not. If not, that's okay.
Folks, if you're all caught up on videos, but not necessarily on coding, give us a +1 in the chat, okay?
Cool. We got to watch.
So some folks are behind, and that's totally okay. Yeah, just help me get some familiarity, just because I've been busy with the GenAI Bootcamp. Can we open up a couple files and take a look here? Maybe we can go to the terraform.main TF as a starting point.
Sure.
And let's scroll on down.
Yeah, this, again, we haven't really done a whole lot with, except for adding the check at the bottom. So what we've done is added this Grafana health check using the Terraform check block. And what this is doing is checking that Grafana is active after we apply. So it's just running a basic URL curl and specifying the return, making sure that the status code is 200.
Now, all our workflows there on the left-hand side, we have apply, destroy, drift, InfraCost plan, TF-lint. How are we managing the order of execution with each one?
Right now, apply is actually a workflow dispatch, so not happening automatically. Same with destroy. So this way you can go in and destroy at will whenever you need to destroy your resources. The InfraCost and plan and TF-lint all can run simultaneously. It's not a problem at all. And drift is actually running right now every 45 minutes, but you can change this schedule, of course, however you need to based on a cron expression.
Do we have a visual for that in terms of the execution flow, or?
Maybe. This is all stuff I'm still working on this side. But let me see your actions.
Could we do a little bit of lucid chart here?
Yeah, let's do a lucid chart.
I'll get my screen going here, and then I'll bug you for questions here. If you can drop the project into the YouTube there, then I'll pull it up there as well.
Okay.
And I know Sam likes to message me on Saturday, so I'm going to make sure I set myself away in Teams. It's either that or Baco. Baco's been working on the... I got an old Elan snowmobile from my dad from 1973, and last night we got it in good working shape. So when the GenAI Bootcamp is started, there's no excuses. We can get to the office. And that's not a joke. That's literally how we'll have to get there with snowmobile. But anyway,
I love
I'm
that.
just here. I haven't shared my screen as of yet. I'm just looking for our MiniCamp here because I'm going to make it in the same document so we have it.
Hmm.
And I'm going to go ahead and request to share. I think, Derek, you'll have to stop here for a moment.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, I just want to flow it out, and then we'll jump right into OPA, just so that
Yep.
I'm just curious as to the flow of these things here. So I'm
Yeah,
going to go
no, that
ahead
sounds great.
and folks, if you're working in a technical team, this is what you would do. You would keep updating, keeping your docs active and live, and making sure everyone's on the same page. I'm going to go here and just tell me if you're able to see screen. The Lucid charts. I think I see it, so I think we're in
Yep.
good shape here. And so I need the repos. I'm just going to open that up as well. I'm going to go over. I'm just going to hit period and open this in GitHub.dev just so I could get through the files. And we'll just wait a moment here.
Yeah, I'm looking at
then
our
on the
stream right now. We've got a really solid delay, just to give you a heads up on that. It's
So
still,
if
your
we
screen
were
still
to
hasn't shown
try to
up.
clap at the same time, it'd be fully off.
I think our clapping would be okay, but on the YouTube stream, we're looking. Oof. Wow, this is so. I've actually got a warning for poor performance. It's not sending keyframes at the right size or something like this. I haven't been able to troubleshoot it, but yeah, it's. I'm still not seeing you up there yet. Just to give you a warning.
Okay, that's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
for the people that are watching, it'll just be delayed for us. But anyway, so we
Yep.
have the following flows. I'm going to drag this off screen so I can kind of add them back here. And so then down below here, I'm just going to go ahead and just quickly add them. Great. Yeah, oh yeah, I just saw Ariana was just like, I could hear you. I was
Yeah.
just like, that was a long time ago.
Yeah. So it was 8 seconds last week. This week it's we're still not there.
That's
So
okay.
something's definitely going on. Just keep that in mind.
Destroy.
All right, there it is.
Destroy. There we
So
go. I have a hard time spelling. And I think everyone knows that by now.
yeah.
Infra cost. We have plan. We have TF-lint.
Hmm.
Okay. And so these three, so what's the order of events here within our pipeline? What runs first?
So InfraCost, Plan, and TF-Lint are all going to run essentially simultaneously, which is fine.
Okay.
Yep, those are going to run together.
Mm-hmm.
Then the drift will run at whatever interval you'd like. That's going to be on an interval. So you can set that. A lot of people probably set it, daily, or it just depends on how many changes you're having and how many people have console access. And then apply and destroy are both currently dispatch. So whenever you want, those are manually applied.
Okay, so this one is interval. I'm just trying to visualize this here.
Mhm.
I'm just going to bring these over here and bring these to the left. My computer is really deciding to run slow here today. I'm not as sure as to why, but that's okay. Well, I mean, I have an idea as to why, but
Maybe that's why the everything's slowed down.
well, just how it goes sometimes. And I'm going to put this here to 0.2.
Okay, just to give you a heads up, right now you just shared on the YouTube stream. So that's the gap we're looking at.
Okay. That's all right.
So-
Well, this won't be too long. So we have the interval, and then we have, these are just async. They just run whenever they want, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then,
Yeah, they'll all run pretty much at the same time. And when testing, I do like to disable anything that I'm not using to save my CI minutes.
so what about apply, destroy? How do those run?
Right now, those are done by workflow dispatch, so you can trigger those manually.
Okay, so I see.
And that, of course, can be made a lot more complicated, but for right now, we're just going to keep it this way while we're still building things out.
So my question is why don't we, I mean, we don't necessarily have to, but why don't we say do TF-lint first, then InfoCost second, then plant? Like why aren't we doing a specific order?
There's really just no reason to. You can if you'd like to, but those 3 checks have to pass before anything can happen after that. And
Well,
they
sorry, I
don't
guess my
need
question is,
anything from each other.
do they all have to pass for it to be successful?
Yes. If you set
Oh, okay.
things up the way we're doing it, is those 3 need to pass. But yes, surprisingly, I actually thought you'd end up having to pass the plan between all of these, but it turns out you don't. They all have built-in ability to check the plan and everything from your resources. In
Okay,
your
so
system
there is
Terraform.
there is a dependency thing, like plan has to happen before you do, or
No,
well,
no,
anyway.
that's what I'm saying. I thought there was, but there actually isn't. InfraCost will analyze the Terraform stuff you have and handle it itself. It does not need a plan passed into it.
Okay, so is this an accurate representation of our
Currently,
workflow?
if the three of those pass, then yes, you can go ahead and apply and then merge. But once we add OPA, things are going to get slightly more complicated because we'll add that to the plan step or the plan job.
Sorry, so we don't have OPA in here right now. Is it going to go into this box here with the rest?
Well, InfraCost right now, after that video, does have OPA integration, but
Okay.
InfraCost actually has the OPA integration integrated into itself. So we didn't have to add anything new. All we had to do was add a extra switch to one of the commands that InfraCost runs. And
Okay,
it
but
manages
my
the
question
whole
here
thing.
is, what do we plan to do? Are we going to have a separate box here for OPA?
It's going to run in the plan, after the plan, I mean. So that will run after the plan.
So that one explicit. So here, instead of having to pull, like we'd actually go OPA after specifically the plan.
OPA is not going to run separately. It runs with the plan, at least to make things easy. You can separate it out if you'd like, but
But are
way
you saying
we're
it's
going to do it-
within this workflow?
Yes, yes. OPA is actually running within the InfraCost workflow and the plan workflow.
Okay, so I'm going to move these up here to indicate that this is what they're doing.
Perfect.
And sure, I can't find color here, but I think what you're saying is OPA is within the actual plan workflow.
Yes. Yeah, we'll have OPA in the plan workflow, and then OPA will also run in the InfraCost workflow.
Okay, so I'm going to just drag this over here, give myself a little bit more room.
Beautiful. Yeah,
And
that's
then
really
I'll put
good.
that there. And so these 2 parts is what we're working on today, or just one of them?
Probably just one of them because I've already created the video for the InfraCost one. If anyone has any specific questions, feel free, of course, to field those, and we can also handle those in the Q&A. But I was thinking we'll probably spend more time on the EC2 OPA policy, which will check to ensure that we are deploying a instance type that is within a range. So whether this is T3 small and T3 micro only, or whatever. And we can actually set up a list of instance types that will be approved, and we'll go that way.
Okay, well, let's jump into code. I've gotten rid of my screen here, so
Yep.
you can show us the OPA.
All right. There we go. Okay. So right now, this is all stuff that I've already done. We're going to do this OPA thing kind of from scratch. So you can kind of see this process and how, well, somewhat annoying it is, to be honest. So here we are. As again, those of you who have watched the video have seen, I've already integrated OPA with InfraCost. Now, the only thing InfraCost had to do was add this. Literally, that's all you had to do is just pass in a policy path, and it will run OPA within its image. And then what I did was create a simple cost.rego file. Rego is the file type or the language, the policy language that you use, that basically sets the max difference between the old cost and the new cost. In this case, we set a threshold of $10. And then it just outputs a message that says, hey, if it's above that threshold, this is bad, and makes a nice little comment. Infracost handles all of the commenting and everything, which is extremely nice. Now with the other one, with the EC2 instance and that policy, we're going to do this manually. So you're not going to have the luxury of just having Infracost do this. So it's going to be a little more involved than what you saw before. So let's take a look here. As we know in the plan, we're running a Terraform plan here, and it just ends up a Terraform plan. Now we can separate OPA into a separate workflow, pass this plan file to that workflow or whatever. Starts to get a little complicated, probably looks a little bit better in maybe a production environment, but we're not going to go that far today because, well, I just really don't want to spend a lot of time kind of bike shedding when we should be focusing on what's really important here, which is creating an OPA policy. All right, so what we're going to do is with this plan, the next thing we're going to need to do, as we know, we're going to need to run a policy or run against a policy and run OPA. So let's take a look at how to add OPA to this script, first of all. So let's see if I can find it open here. That's Infracost. Let's just search. So we're going to do some Googling. Find that OPA Terraform GitHub Actions. As you can see, I had to do a lot of research to get this thing right. A lot of purple links there. So basically what we're doing here, let's take a look. OPA docs content Terraform. So what OPA is going to need to do is take the Terraform plan and make decisions based on that plan.
Is this where we're going to pull content from?
We're going to pull a little bit, yes.
Can we drop the link into chat and let's just bump up the font a bit?
Yep. I'm actually checking to make sure it's the one that we're going to want to use. Working with modules, ecosystem, yeah, that's all fine.
You know what's really nice on the right-hand side is they, you probably know about this, Derek, but just for those that are watching, on the right-hand side, there's a little table of contents, a little button. Do you see, Derek? And so,
hey,
folks, if you're trying to get to somewhere much quicker, this is, if you're in a Markdown file, you can have it. GitHub is always adding new things. I'd hope I know GitHub. I made quite a few courses on it, but yeah.
That's awesome.
So, but what part are we jumping to, you think? Part 5?
So what we need to do, we're going to need to run the open policy agent. And I was going to add that step to the YAML first, but actually I think we might decide to go and create the policy first. I think that's going to make more sense. So what it's doing is using this Rego policy here to, in this case, deny if a security group is using HTTP. And you can see it starts to get really, really, really deep here. We're going to make it a little bit easier. Actually, a lot easier.
Oh, yeah. Derek, I just interrupt you with some very important information. Before I came on the stream, I was in a flurry to get ready because my 3-year-old walked into, I didn't notice, he walked into, like, beside me. And he had a bunch of Nutella on his hands, and he just rubbed it into the ports of my MacBook Pro. So I had to dig out with like a little toothpick Nutella out of my ports. So I'm hoping my computer still works.
That is fantastic.
Yep.
All right, so let's see here. So to do this, I'm going to take a look, and you know what? Let's see how ChatGPT can do this. I'm actually kind of curious. So that's actually in a different window. Am I sharing the screen or the window? I am sharing the window. Hang on
I
a second.
see OPA. Is that what you mean
Yeah.
to show?
Nope. No, 1 second. Let me add this up. Yeah, I'm just sharing the window, not the screen here. Let me share that screen. Window. There we go. Okay.
I'm all out of Maltese balls.
All right. ChatGPT 4.0 with Canvas. Let's see how well this works. So I need an OPA script to, what we want to do is limit my Terraform code from deploying anything other than a t3.micro or t2.micro. Let's just keep it free tier like that.
So I need an OPA script to limit my Terraform code from deploying anything but a T3 micro. Oh, so like, don't deploy T3 micros is what you're saying.
No, don't deploy anything other than a T3
Oh,
micro.
so only deploy a T3 micro.
Yeah,
Can we bump up the font here? I'm not sure
yeah,
if it'll
I'm gonna
break
work on that.
I'm not sure if it'll break the process here. So just to clarify, we're only allowing them to deploy a T3 micro.
Yep.
Looks like we're allowing them to do T2
Or
or
T2
T3
micro
here.
also. Yeah, I want to
What
keep
about
it in the free tier.
T4G? What about T4G micro?
Nope. It looks like, this might actually be close. Let's see. Resource.
It looks like it's right, but who knows?
Yeah. Yep. So we can test this. We can find out exactly how it's doing. So what I'm going to do is move this.
Someone says that they might be hearing crackling. Maybe it's this. I'm just
I
joking.
hope so.
Did everyone see my ASR video for cloud? Derek, did you see it?
ASMR? Yes, it was
ASMR?
very uncomfortable. I had to turn it off immediately. All right, so what I'm going to do is head to one of my plans here. As you can see, I broke a bunch of stuff for a long time. Let me see. What we need to do is make sure we can see one of these plans in JSON.
OPA. Terraform.
Oh, God. Are those videos still around? Are people still doing that?
Yeah. I'm keeping them alive.
All right, 1 second. I'm going to get that script one to output. We want to see what this plan looks like so that we have a sample plan. That's how we're going to troubleshoot this issue and figure out if this actually works. We've got a nice little starting point, but we kind of want to play with that a little bit. So I'm going to go and find a Terraform plan and get it into JSON.
The crackling could have also been my missed chips bag. I really got to clean up my office.
All right, view Terraform plan. Run.
We don't. Oh, sorry, we don't see the screen right now, Derek. Well, I don't
Weird.
anyway.
No, it went away. It just stopped. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that.
Interesting. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, it literally just stopped. I moved the window and it freaked out. It's really cool.
Okay, can we step back one step here? We're bringing code over from the canvas.
Yeah, we're going to do that in just a second. What I want is to get a plan that we can use to test.
Oh, okay.
All right, so here I am here in the Open Policy Agent docs. Where is our YouTube?
Here we go.
All right, they said it's not the package. I don't hear any crackling from you. I hope that might be YouTube just acting up. So if YouTube ended up screwing this up, then I will output the raw footage from Riverside and release that video if this gets too distracting.
I'm going to survey here and see what we get.
Yeah. All right, so what we're going to need is, we're going to need this Terraform plan. We can do it a number of ways.
Oh, yeah, a lot of people are getting it.
Are they? Okay.
Did you just want to stop and restart the stream? I'd say it's bearable, but it's very unusual that there's crackling.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
you
we don't
sound
have any
perfect to me.
crackling here, yeah.
Yeah, there must be some sort
Do
of
you want to
internet
just restart the
situation.
stream? People say it's not bad, but
Okay. I mean, do you want to ask? I mean, if it's not that bad, we'll just fight through it, and people
they're
can
all
watch
saying
through
it's
the...
not bad. Okay, well, everyone's going to have to hear about the mysterious crackling then.
Wonderful. All right, so what we're going to want to do is get a hold of a Terraform plan in JSON.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. I'm trying to remember the easiest way to do this.
Oh, it only happens when we talk, the crackling.
Weird.
Oh, and Ultraman says it's the Halloween crackling.
It's the what?
The Halloween crackling.
Oh. All right, let's take a look here. Man, I'm forgetting everything. We can go to the tfplan.binary, but I'd like it to go straight to JSON. JSON. Yeah, cool.
You know what? It probably is, Shan. It's maybe it's Riverside because it's normalizing our audio, and maybe it's distorting it as it's doing it. That's probably what it is.
Okay.
I mean, it's nothing we can do about it, but if it's not that bad.
Yeah, there is a noise reduction feature, but it won't let me start it. So, All right. So what we're going to do here is view the Terraform plan in JSON, I'm pretty sure. And then we can use that in the Open Policy Agent Playground to test.
Sorry, there's a playground?
There is a playground. It's so much fun.
I wish I knew that. That would have made my life so much easier.
Yep, Rego Playground right here. So we'll be able to input that full plan, input the Rego policy here, and then we'll get to play with it. So I'm going to go ahead and run this. And I'm just going to do it from main. We're not going to bother doing the PR right now. Added plan outputs. What did I do here? I mean, no changes.
Yeah, Baker's been mostly in the barn working on the snowmobile. I'll go in there to help him sometimes, and every time I'm there, his hands are always covered in blood because he doesn't wear gloves, and he just keeps nicking himself. So I told him maybe for Christmas I'll buy him a nice first aid kit. Doesn't seem to care, though.
All right, I was in the wrong directory. Gets kind of hard using this gigantic font sometimes for me. So anyway, so now we've pushed that. Hopefully it's not going to explode, and we're going to see... hang on. I've disabled the plan to speed things up, so we're going to obviously enable that.
So we're doing a deploy so we can observe the JSON, and then
Yep, and then we'll mess
constructor.
with that to work on our policy.
Okay.
Yep. All right. So, do you remember, can you launch? You can launch. I thought you could launch one of these manually here.
I remember doing that in my course, yes, but where I could not tell you.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I totally thought
it
you
was in the
could.
UI. You could do it.
I know you can do it on, well, okay. You have to go in and rerun the workflow, I think is what it is. So I'm just
I'm not sure
gonna,
about that. I remember there's just like a 3 ellipses you drop down. You just say run, and it runs it.
yeah. Whenever you have workflow dispatch, it definitely does.
Oh, I see.
Yep. Oops. Git commit -m triggering. Allow empty. Ah,
Not sure why my computer decided to open a mystery tab.
so yeah, anyway, fun little thing right there. If you are testing workflows, sometimes just allowing empty is a way to get things to kick off. Since obviously if you don't commit anything, it won't let you do anything. There we go. Perfect. All right, hopefully that command worked. I just guessed, hoping that it will play nice, but we'll find out here in just a second. Andrew, this is where you come up with a weird story while we watch this. Oh, never mind. There it went.
I have to play Super Mario Brothers every day. I don't want to, but I hooked up my Super Nintendo for my 5-year-old autistic nonverbal kid. He really likes Super Mario Brothers because on YouTube it started showing him the old Super Mario Bros. TV show from the early 90s. And he watches the same episode over and over again where they discover Yoshi and they call Luigi Mama Luigi over and over and over again. But anyway, he can't beat all the levels, and so he'll make me play the levels, but then he'll leave, and then I'm always playing this game by myself and trying to get work done. And it's, yeah.
We're getting a lot of extra junk here in the plan. So as you can see there, a lot of weird characters and things, which is why I'm going to add no color here, which should clean that plan up a good bit. So no color. All right, hopefully it plays nice. And this is how you run out of CI minutes, everybody.
I'm trying to make my computer happy by closing as many things as I can here. Must be that new Copilot that's slowing it down. I didn't even install it and it just shows up one day, eh?
Yeah, definitely Copilot.
It has to be Copilot.
Okay. That stupid assert check actually comes back with everything from the Grafana page, which is very annoying. All right, where is... Oh my God, this is a lot of stuff. Okay. Let's close that. View Terraform plan. Okay.
I'm really surprised. I usually have knives on my desk, but none today. I just have a flathead screwdriver.
All right, let's see how this looks. I probably should have tested this before, but I didn't. Get over it. All right. Okay, there we go. All right.
So this, we're looking at the output?
Yep, looking at a plan here, but it's not as clean as a plan file that I'd like, but it honestly may be okay. I might have to push to a plan file and then pull from, and then cat the plan file, which is very annoying, but that might be what we do.
And so we're just trying to match up because we're right now it was just matching for the instance type. Is that right?
Yep. Yeah, we're just going to match for the instance type. And if I have to, I'm just going to use this one and then go back. Let me make sure. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, I'm actually just going to steal this one here. And then I'll go back in and figure that other thing out and give everybody that. This is a lot cleaner. All right, cool. So back to the playground. All right.
And we're just getting this data so we can write our match, right?
Yep.
Okay. And sorry, are we dropping that in the gist or for folks?
It's right here on this link. I will copy the link.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah, this is a lot easier and will waste a lot less time.
Hmm.
All right, so now we're in the playground here.
Mm-hmm.
We've got package. That's going to be Terraform.
Can you bump up the font
Yep,
a bit?
yep.
I'm the font police.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that one. That one was way off. That was way too
Mhm.
small. All right, I'm just going to delete all of this stuff. And I'm going to head back to ChatGPT, which I have open somewhere.
Mm.
Grab the sample that I've got. Here it is. All right.
If I seem a bit tired, it's because I have these heated flooring in my office, and I don't know how to turn my heating off, and so it's really warm in here, and so I'm getting sleepy. And then my
Where-
eyes are really watery because I don't have a proper filter for my light, and so my eyes are getting blasted right now.
Where did that ChatGPT one go that I literally just used? Did it delete it? We'll just start a new one. Whatever. Super weird. Okay. So, we'll try it again. I need to limit my Terraform. No, we're going to read. Nope. I want to use OPA to limit my Terraform to only be able to deploy a T2 micro or T3 dot micro. All right. Okay, came up a little bit different, but it's close. So I'm just going to copy that and paste this in. Now, package EC2 instance type. Yeah, no, this is going to be a package Terraform. That's one example of things just not working weird or not working right. All right, so let's take a look. Let's just run this against what we've got. Errors all over the place. If keyword is required before rule body, blah, blah, blah. Let's take a look here. So we're using Canvas, I thought. Apparently I'm not using Canvas. Yeah, I am.
But yeah, that's so. When I first used Canvas, that's why I was confused. I was like, "What's different?" But it turns out sometimes it just does that and doesn't open the
Yep.
correct way. I don't know why. While you figure that out, I'm gonna turn my light a little bit down. It's killing my eyes here. Back in a second.
All right. Okay, let's try this one out real quick. But as you all are seeing pretty well, this is not a great solution.
Oh, that's so much better.
All right. Yeah, so ChatGPT is just not great. It's going to constantly come up with errors and things like that. So here's actually what I ended up using, and there's a couple differences I want to play with. One thing, actually import future keywords in. This is another suggestion that ChatGPT had. That didn't work well.
What does that do?
So that is importing a new feature that is in Rego.v1.
Okay.
ChatGPT does not know about
Oh,
Rego.v1.
I'm assuming Rego is for regular expression.
I forgot where it comes from, actually.
I just assume because it says Rego, I would think that means regular expression, but maybe not.
Yeah, I forgot exactly where it's from.
Rego queries are assertions on data stored in OPA. Okay. Rego was inspired by Datadog, which is well understood, decades-old query language. So it extends
Yeah, I
the
do remember
support
reading
structure
that.
documents of JSON. Okay, so basically it's a query language for JSON. That's what Rego is.
Var
kind of
dot
interesting.
allowed instant types is unsafe. Yeah, it's nonstop. In fact, this policy that I just pasted in here works. I've actually used it. Let's see.
For the cloud project bootcamp, we had I wrote our own syntax
goes.
language in Ruby, but like I could have used Rego. Looks really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, Rego actually works pretty well. All right, so now I've gotten it to work. As you can see here, t3.micro and t3.small are the ones that we're allowing, and it's set as a t2 micro in the plan. T2 micro is not allowed. So if I see instance type right there, but if I change it, t3 micro, and evaluate, then it apparently just dies. All right, T3 micro. Everybody sees that, right? Let me see. There's 5. That's why. All right, T3. 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 Perfect. All right. Evaluate. There we go. So now we are getting nothing, which means that this is actually working. So that's good. And I know this isn't the ideal way to troubleshoot this, but you do what you can. And instead of troubleshooting Rego all day, I just decided to move ahead to something that works. So let's talk about this a little bit. So basically what's happening is we've got some, which is keyword there, resource in, that's how you are doing an iteration for them. Input.resource changes. So if we take a look, you can see right here on line 96 that we have resource changes. It's a little easier there. So within the plan, you got plan values and resource changes. So this is a great way to, you can actually use planned values versus current values, things like that. But right now, resource changes is where we are. Resource.type equals AWS instance. One of the great things about Rego is it does iterate over things a lot easier. You don't necessarily have to drill down forever like you might with JQ. It's pretty easy. It's just saying, okay, well, everywhere the resource.type is AWS instance, it's going to work. So there you go. Type resource.instance. Then instance type, resource dot change dot after dot instance type. So this is making sure that it's handling the change, not what it already is. So again, sorry, this format's kind of tough. So if we go to, once again, in resource changes, we then change after. And then instance type, which I think I'm in the wrong type here. Yeah, this is really hard to work with on that.
So now my question is, like, if you were to give the current code, because you know, like, your code's pretty close to being correct, and you gave ChatGPT the JSON structure, could it not just explain it or do it for you? Like,
Yeah,
it
sometimes.
couldn't create code, but like you have very clear code that's very close to it.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's usually what I end up doing is I get something close, whether it's on the internet or I go and write it myself. It's been a while since I've written Rego consistently. At my last job, I honestly wrote it almost every day, but now I just don't write it nearly as much anymore. Yeah, that was a lot easier. Yeah, working with it here is way easier. But yeah, essentially what you're doing is iterating over this. And once you get started with Rego and you use this playground, it makes things a lot easier to move through.
I wonder if maybe they don't, but I wonder if they had like a VS Code extension for the Rego playground.
They might. You know, I actually haven't tried. Let's try.
Because they have like Rego linting, Rego
Oh,
test
yeah.
runner.
This is way better. Yeah.
Well, again, I'm not sure what the experience would be, but I'm just saying that, you know, then you don't have to leave VS Code.
Yeah, I think that would be honestly the best move for troubleshooting this. But anyway, you know, we're getting the idea here of how this is all working. It's not my best demo in the world, but probably not my worst, luckily. You know, so that's cool.
It's not my best hair day. It's not my
It's
worst.
never my best hair day, I assure you. All right, so anyway, so we got something that works. We'll just say that. So 1 second, let's go ahead and we want to add Rego to our script here. So what I'm going to do is look off screen real quick and bring something up.
I really gotta get a pillow in my office.
Dude, don't do it. Don't do it. You'll never get anything done again as long as you live.
So sleepy, so warm in here.
All right, here we go. So in our plan, we'll do things a little bit different. So basically what we're doing now instead, and this is a lot better, obviously, than what we had before, we're going to run a Terraform plan, going to output that plan, then show it into JSON, and output it into plan.json. That's essentially how I am viewing it now, and this will actually cat that plan and show it so that that JSON so that you can use that for troubleshooting. So then what we're going to use is the OPA action, which is, and I will add this here in a second.
The Terraform Bootcamp we recorded all the materials for it, and I think it's on the Exampro platform. Whether it's accessible or not, I'm not 100% sure. We were supposed to roll it up and put it on Free Code Camp. We just never got around to it. I'm not sure why. But I think the videos are on my platform. So, and if you do go through it, it's not hard for us to grade it. So there have been some people going through and still getting them, but you'd have to check our platform. I can't remember, to be honest.
All right. So yeah. So here we go. The OPA GitHub action. This is a lot easier to go through. These instructions are pretty straightforward overall.
Actually, now that I'm thinking about the Terraform one, we had a site that had to run in order for you to connect and get graded. And I think right now it's not running, and we haven't made it available in another form, so that could be a blocker. Like the content's all fine, but it's just there's that one component that could cause issues, and I think we have to revisit it and figure out how to maintain it outside the scope of the cohort.
All right. So now I've modified the Terraform plan here, which is going to output that TF plan, then output it to a JSON file, and then we can cat that to take a peek at it and make sure that works, and also use it for troubleshooting. And then what we want to do is run the setup OPA after that, which comes from that action page. Here we go. Cool. So open policy agent, setup OPA, version is latest, sounds really good. All right, so now what we need to do is use OPA to test things out. And since it won't, all it'll do is just test and give you an answer, but it won't actually exit unless you do a little magic. At least that's the way this one is. All right. Man, this paste sucks. There we go. Okay. So what the heck am I doing here? What we're running is OPA eval. We're then passing in data, which is going to be our plan.rego. So I'm going to go ahead and create that. Using the one we just created.
We're back.
Then we've got to pass in the input, and that's going to be the plan.json, which will be stored in temp. So once again, the JSON plan goes out to temp plan.json. And then what we want is data.terraform.deny. So it's basically evaluating that deny rule, which is right here. So data, the package is Terraform, and then .deny right here. So that's going to evaluate that rule and return whether it's right or not. So what's going to happen is it's going to have a result, expressions, and the value. So let's take a look here.
So you're just parsing the outputs, okay.
So if you use OPA, which I don't think OPA is installed here. No, OPA is not installed. We can actually test it out there. Let me install it real quick. I think. Wrong version. Cool. It's gonna, there we go. Okay, OPA is now installed. So we can actually test all of this out if we need to. We just need that Terraform plan file to work with it. So I'm just going to copy the one that we've got here. But of course, you'd want to use the one that you've output to do this, but we're just going to cheat a little bit, make this a little bit faster. And actually, cool. So I'm just going to create something in this exact same directory so that I don't have to mess around with the command at all. It'll be as close as possible. So temp plan.json, if it's writable, should be. Perfect. So now what I'm going to do is we've got this in the policies directory. So I'm going to go and I'm going to run this command here. That's going to be policies. And we're going to be actually running within the Terraform directory. So let me take a look here.
Maybe you need to touch your source, eh? Or dot, dot
No,
forward
it needs
slash
to be
bash
dot
profile
dot.
or-
It's
Pardon?
dot.
Oh, it's just where it was pointing.
Yeah, I moved into the Terraform directory.
Oh, I see. I thought maybe it was in your
Yep.
your paths. Okay.
Yep. So here you go. So result expressions value is empty because everything is good. Now this plan, if I go to, oops. Where did you go? Oh, it's in temp, right. Plan.json. Fine, let's change everything to a t2.large. So that was a t3.micro. There we go. Change that to a t2.large. Now run this. There we go. AWS instance type T2 large is not allowed. Only T3.micro or T3.small are permitted. So this is working. So we've verified that. So now what we can do is experiment with a little bash. I know some people get mad when they see bash. Nothing too crazy here, but first what we'll want to do is use JQ.
Why can't we use PowerScript?
I'd love to. So we're getting that result, expressions, value, and that's going to give me just what we have here. And this is either going to be empty or it's going to be something. So one way to do this, and this may be ugly, feel free to tell me that this is incredibly ugly. Happy to refactor. But basically we're checking, is OPA out, empty or not? And if it's empty, which is this -z right there, checks to see if it's empty. If it is, we're just going to exit 0. No return code, everything's good, and we're just going to continue and pass the check. However, if it is not empty, then we're going to echo the message. We're then going to comment on a PR, which in this case, I had the PR hard-coded, which we don't want, obviously. And the body is going to be that message. And then we're going to exit 1, which fails the check. So that's kind of exactly how we're going to create that message, say what's wrong, and indicate that this is a problem. Now, to get a hold of that PR. I actually thought I had already done this, but apparently I haven't. Might need to check and just see if I haven't committed it yet. So that is the event dot. Do you remember where that is by any chance? GitHub PR number actions.
What are we looking for?
I need the PR number for this to make sure we comment to the right
27. 11.
Infracost actually might have it in here.
But you have to get it dynamically, or you actually want to hard code the
Yep,
value?
I got it right here. So in the Infracost YAML here, workflow, they actually use it to commit that, or to set that that message on that PR. So I'm just going to go steal it from there. Head back over and add that in. Just like so.
On Twitter, there was someone that used to work at AWS in the DA role, developer advocacy role, and they made a Halloween joke where the person was wearing a giant Q as their Halloween costume. The joke is about Amazon Q as it being a scary service because it doesn't work very well. And also, I think like everyone at AWS that's on the developer advocacy team had to use Amazon Q and teach it, whether it's not a very good service, so for them it probably scares them every time they have to teach Amazon Q.
All right, so I know this has been a lot, so I'm just going to commit this and see exactly how broken it is. I'm actually going to set this to t2.large so that it does break. And then I'm going to go ahead and create a PR, or a new branch actually. Should have been working on a new branch already, but we're going to go ahead and do that. So do git branch dash b, wait, no, git checkout dash b feature. There we go. Let's go ahead and add all this to the feature branch, and we're going to see if it works. I have a feeling it's all going to explode, but we're going to try it. Added OPA. Git push origin feature. All right, cool. That looks good. All right, and GHPR create dash fill to create that PR. All right, and we'll open that up. All right, let's see how absolutely explodey this gets. All right, all the good old stuff there. Hang on a second. What missed? This did not update.
Yesterday, I learned what it takes to run an 8 billion parameter LLM on AWS. It takes an M7i Flex 4X large, which is 16 vCPUs and 64 gigabits per second at just under $1 per hour, if that's interesting.
That actually is.
But you can just use CPU for that. That's not even with GPU. So
that's what I've been seeing is a lot of CPU stuff coming out, which is really cool. I'm loving that. NVIDIA just released something pretty big, didn't they?
They're always saying they're releasing something really big, but it's hard to say. There was a new type of graphics card they released. what'd they call it? NVIDIA new GPU. It was a crazy, crazy one. Can't find it.
Duh. This hasn't been merged yet. Let's see. Well, no, the features should still go through, right? Thought so. The PR should run against that.
Turing, yeah, Turing. I thought Turing was AMD. Is it NVIDIA or is it?
No, I think Turing is,
Or is that IBM?
no, Turing is NVIDIA, I'm pretty sure.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Or does AMD also have a Turing? Yeah, so AMD has one. It's called, yeah, the AMD EPYC AMD. Yeah, yeah. The only reason I know that is, oh, NVIDIA has Turing with a G. So I don't know if Malcolm just forgot the G there, and then he was referencing the AMD one, but yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't even looked at the NVIDIA Turing yet.
All right. I just committed it to, or I just merged it to the branch, so hopefully now it's going to play nice. I don't know. It didn't look like it updated. Could have sworn it did before, but, you know.
For those who've heard like the Turing test about like if a computer or an AI can pass the Turing test, it's like can communicate, like a human can't distinguish it. But people don't realize that we keep breaking the Turing test because they just keep updating the rules to it. So every time they're like, oh, this new thing breaks the Turing test, it's like the latest Turing test. But they don't always clarify that.
Oops.
I don't know much about AMD's machines unless they send me one.
Yeah, AMD really it just feels like it dropped the ball, you know?
I don't know because I don't know enough. The only reason I know anything about it is one of our boot campers, Jason. That's not his name. Jason. Yeah, he's Jason. Like the JSON object. Jason went to AMD AI because he entered a hackathon last year that he didn't win, but his documentation was so good because he was one of those boot campers that had excellent documentation.
Mm-hmm.
They brought him to wherever it was, San Francisco or whatever, and so he has the most up-to-date information on AMD's AI offering. But yeah, I'm not really sure. AMD has put a lot of money into gaming, so I don't know if people game here, but there was a game that was out last year called, not even a year ago, but it was the company that makes Fallout, the space one.
Mm-hmm.
I bought it and I can't even play it because they only optimized it for AMD because AMD made a deal with them, so it was optimized for AMD and not other graphics cards. It was a very unusual deal if you're making a blockbuster game to only optimize it for AMD to force people to buy AMD cards. But no, I've always just used Intel or NVIDIA. No, I don't know why I just never had a use for AMD, even though it's more cost effective. Starfield, that's the game, yeah. Still can't play it. Well, actually, you know what? I might be able to play it now because I actually have a Lunar-like Intel chip beside me, even though it doesn't have GPUs. But my main machine that I record on is a 6th generation Intel chip, and Bako goes, "You don't need a new machine. You have the cloud." I'm like, "I'm struggling here. Give me a new computer." But that's the problem with the cloud. You can do everything in the cloud, so you don't get a good gaming computer.
Oh, well, something's broken. I don't know what that is. So I'm just going to work here in main for a second and see what's going on. No.
It says broken as Starfield is on my computer. Like it works with like on some other particular configuration, but just not for me. Not that I have much time for video games these days. Everything is focused. I don't want to play any video games until I reach my JLPT. That's the Japanese proficiency test level 3. So, yeah, if the next boot camp has something to do with Japanese language learning, that's why. Derek, do you know any other languages?
Not well.
Okay.
No, I took Latin with the plans of learning more later, and just never got the chance to. It's a shame, really. I've picked up enough from other languages to kind of, you know, find out where I'm going or catch a bus, but that's about it.
To our audience here, do you know any other languages? If you do, share them in the chat here. I'd love to know.
Okay, what is broken here? Why is this not happening?
So
Honestly, I think working in this gigantic font causes me to get distracted.
Swedish. That's a challenging language.
What am I committing to?
German. Yeah.
What is happening here?
I really should know more Spanish, considering I lived in Spain for 3 years. I also lived in France for a bit, but I think the challenge with Spain was that I lived specifically in Catalonia, and so I could never tell if it was Catalan or Spanish. And I had friends that had competing interests for me to learn each language, and it did not help. When I lived in Paris, I remember I saw like a booth that said information, and I assumed that, oh, maybe that's for English speakers. And I went up there, and they were like, "Why are you talking to us English?" And I forgot that there's literal words that are exactly identical in English and French. You think I'd know because it's Canada.
Guys, just punch me in the mouth.
Normally what we do is we
such
flip
an
a couple
idiot.
characters around. So like center is, instead of ER, it's RE. For some reason we do that. You figured it out?
Yeah, I once again was in the stupid Terraform Terraform directory, like an idiot.
Basque, now that's an interesting language. I met quite a few people from Basque, but I never got to go there, which is a shame because I hear it's really nice. But the one country that can never be conquered, Basque. Well, I guess not technically a country; it's part of Spain, but it's not its own country, right? It's part of Spain.
Oops.
Yeah, I think it's part of Spain.
This
yeah.
is embarrassing. LS. All right. Wait, large files are detected from where?
But been spending a lot of time learning sign language because, again, I have nonverbal autistic children, like a couple, and so we're picking up a lot of ASL these days, which is fine.
OPA.
Maybe I'll get Rob for the next boot camp. It'll be fun.
Updated,
Every part of
okay.
Spain wants to be its own country, pretty much. I like the northwest of Spain because I think it's northwest, yeah, because they have big soups and they're really good.
Okay, it's there now. You know, it's amazing how things break when you're in the wrong directory. Sorry for wasting everybody's Saturday, everybody.
Oh, we're having a good time.
All right, run. Oh, God.
I can make a really good paella, though.
I love paella. KubeCon.
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 Oh, because it was in Spain, right?
Yeah.
But where? Was it in
like 2
Valencia?
years ago, 3 years ago?
It was in Valencia,
yeah,
right?
it was in Valencia. It was awesome.
Mm-hmm. I just live in boring Canada, so. I mean, I think a lot of people find Canada interesting, but I guess everywhere you're from is boring, and but everywhere else, it's exciting for everyone else.
All right.
According to them, that's the that's the key there. But you know what? I like Valencia's paella because it's just like chicken and like everyone can eat it. The seafood one's really good, but I think that one's a really easy one to eat. I know that what's the island that is near Italy that they also have really good
Sicily?
paella? No, it's Mallorca. No, that's an island. I mean, it's an island, but that's not what I'm thinking of. I'm blanking. between Italy and Spain. Malta, that's what it is. And I didn't even get the map up to figure it out.
We did it. I got it. Just had to add the GitHub token and poke around in the right directory and actually get things working.
I just don't like that you have to have 2 people to have paella, because I'll eat the whole thing. Or like, why can't you just have the paella and then take some of the paella home?
So AWS hosted a thing at KubeCon, and they used the like paella pans that were like 10 feet across, 15 feet across, something like that. And they had like giant, forks and stuff that they used. It was really awesome. But as you can see here, it looks like things are actually looking right now. AWS instance type is not allowed, and process completed with exit code 1, so it failed the check, which is cool. So now I can actually do this right with a pull request, which I wanted to do in the beginning, but I was in the wrong directory, embarrassing myself in front of everybody. So we'll go ahead and we're going to change this TF vars once we get in there. We'll go get checkouts feature. Cool. And then I'm going to change this TFRs. Obviously, it's something that's already not going to work, but we'll say X large. That's one, right? X large? Is that right? I know there's 2 X large.
Probably.
Yeah, sounds good.
Maybe. X2, right, X2 large, X3 large. Who knows? We'll find out pretty soon.
Yep. And let me go check also my actions and see what I disabled. I think just TF went right now. Yep, that's okay. I want InfraCost to run on this one too, so you can kind of see that.
Something I would really like to try out is a drink called kvass, which is a fermented drink of bread. A lot of people call beer liquid bread, but kvass is literally liquid bread, where you take the bread and you ferment it. Just gotta get around to making it one day. Have you ever had kvass, Derek?
I don't think so. How do you spell it?
Kvass, kvass.
No, I have not.
I don't know if people can tell, but I really like food.
Yeah, same. All right, pull request, feature. Let's see here. Are the actions running? Oh my God. All right. Boy, I'm actually just going to close this pull request.
Oh, that's interesting. So Malort is a Chicago Basque liquor.
Yeah, Malort.
But why is it? But it says Basque. It has nothing to do with Basque, the country. It's something else.
I'm trying to remember. Malort is famously pretty gross. I actually can handle it pretty well, but a lot of people talk about how just absolutely horrible it is.
I mean, I can handle my water pretty well.
All right, I'm starting from scratch here. That got just a little bit
originally
out
from
of hand.
Scandinavia. Okay. There's a hot pepper in Finland that grows. I can't remember what it's called, but I plan to grow it next year because I'm in such a cold climate. It might be one of the few things that I can grow.
Get PR creates.
That's what's called the Aji Fantasy. That's going in my garden next year. I had a really good growing season though this year. It was pretty good.
All right, let's see what happens this time. This will go down in history as one of the worst demos ever made. That's okay. Hopefully everybody's learning something.
Or they're getting hungry.
All right. InfraCost policy failed, which is awesome. That's what I was hoping for there. Now let's see how the Terraform plan works. Run OPA tests. Error. Exit code. And it didn't accept the token, like a big dumb idiot. So I couldn't post the comment because it's, let's take a look here. I think I know exactly what's going on here. We need to add that permission. Pull request right. There we go. All right. I am really hoping this one works here. Let's see, anything else I'm missing? No, everything else, but, so OPA did work just fine. It just didn't post properly because the pull request did not, or the token did not have right permission to the pull request. So we're gonna try this one more time. This is for all the marbles and hope that it works.
Well, the point is once it's in place, so that'll be nice.
PR perms.
Derek, do you like spicy food?
Love spicy food.
How hot do you go?
Habanero is probably about where I start to enjoy less of it. I think with the right habanero mango or something, it's really great. But whenever somebody's just trying to make it like super, super, super spicy, that's about where I get kind of, it just starts to get a little annoying. I will do the super spicy stuff every now and then if it's, you know, like Indian food or something, I might go really hot. But overall, I try to keep it, again, around habanero.
So to the audience, what's your hot level between 0 to 10? I'm at like a 1 or 2 just because I can't take it anymore. I love hot food, but I can't do it. But I'll do like a 1 or 2 every few months, and I'm like, this is great, and then I gotta stop right away.
It depends on the region, you know. I would say, you know, overall, probably closer to a 7 or so.
Wow.
But like in Massachusetts, I'm like a 9 because those people don't eat spicy food at all. Salt is spicy, I think, in Massachusetts to them. But, you know, if I'm in like Texas, I'm probably closer to like a 6. Or like Arizona or something like that. All right, let's take a look here. Comment posted to GitHub, so that worked. So where's the stupid comment? Did you notice it?
Mm-mm. Well, that's the other thing, as Malcolm's saying, is like it's not just about being hot, but there's flavor, and so, you know, like the one I had here, the Aji Fantasy, it has a sweet, tangy, fruity after flavor. That's why I was so interested in getting some. And I thought Bako might like some, because Bako likes spicy food. I like it, but I can only have a teeny tiny amount. So
I'm about to just open up the one that just works and just show everybody where it works because this is getting ridiculous. I do not see the comment. It says a comment was posted, but I don't see the comment anywhere. I'm totally writing my senator and complaining.
when we did the
about GitHub.
Terraform Beginner Bootcamp, there was a lot of talk about food.
I don't blame you. Yeah, comment posted to GitHub.
You know, there's nothing really interesting where I live, unless you want to try eating bear.
How is bear? It seems fat. Is it fatty?
Well, yeah, they got a lot of fat, but it's not very tasty. You have to thoroughly cook it.
Ah. Why thoroughly? Because of texture or because of like parasites or something?
Parasites.
Ugh,
If
that's
you
no
if you eat bear that's undercooked, you can get the parasites where it's like the worms that like start coming out of your skin everywhere. Like the most one you really don't want. You know what I mean? So, you know, we'll think about what bears eat. They eat everything, right? So
Yeah. Well, it's probably the fish, honestly. Fish are notorious for getting like worms and stuff like that. Wouldn't surprise me at all if it was like fish or something that was causing that.
I don't know. That's why bears are so mad all the time.
Man, I don't know.
Saw my first moose in a couple of years. It's been a while.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Moose are so, like, they're one of those things that I don't think anybody really understands the size of until they finally see one. It's staggering. I mean, these are just massive,
Can you go
massive
back to
animals.
line 15?
What's
GitHub
that?
is complaining about GitHub Actions Terraform plain text workflow. Workflow's not valid, unexpected. Oh, so maybe Patrick just needs to show us the line. They're just talking within the chat to help each other. I thought it was a
Oh, okay.
reference of what you were doing here.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I don't see the comment at all. I don't know where it is. I'm gonna go take a look at my other deployment and see. Well, I'm gonna hard code it and we're gonna see. So this is PR9, right? Yep, 9, number 9. So let's just hard code it and see what happens.
For Derek, I think the comment posted is from the infracost comment, not your comment.
No, I was looking at in the details of the one I just ran, I believe. But maybe you're right.
But isn't it interesting, like,
Did it not
you
run?
can't use ChatGPT to build your GitOps pipeline end-to-end yet? That would be another good an agent, one that just builds out GitOps pipelines. There's like so much room for opportunity to build out specialized agents. Specialized
Yep.
agents can do it.
No, they were right. It wasn't running at all.
Mm-hmm.
No, they were right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Second.
Derek, do you celebrate Halloween?
Sometimes. I don't know if I'm going to this year, but yeah, I like to get out there every now and then. There's some pictures around somewhere of me wearing women's leather pants for a Batman costume about 10 years ago. But I was a little more
Missing
petite
an
then.
S. Malcolm saying missing an S. Pull requests. So
Oh
there
my
you go.
God. Yep, that matches contents. Thanks, Malcolm.
Malcolm's getting bonus points from Derek.
Yeah, setting him up. I love it. All right, well then we can go fix this. There we go. Yeah, I'll be honest. In my excuses, I'm not great at a big screen like this. I get kind of lost kind of quick with all the font so large.
It takes time to get used to it.
Yeah.
They have they're like on the pepper site I'm on, they have Scotch bonnet and they have it as mild. I'm like, what? Scotch bonnets aren't mild, but it says stuffing Scotch bonnet, so maybe it's not as hot.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you know, highly concentrated situations can definitely break you. Hey, look at that. Bam. You know, it's crazy. You'd think somebody somebody like Malcolm, who builds giant things, giant tacos, would probably figure this stuff out pretty quick. I assume that's Malcolm there. All right, cool. So anyway, that's it. We did it. We've actually got that now. It's breaking it. It will prevent the merge if you have your stuff set right. So you can block a merge whenever the checks fail. In this case, T2X large is not allowed. Let's go make sure that it does allow the proper deal here. So we'll say T2 micro.
Yeah, apparently Patrick gets bonus points too.
Okay, he's got them.
Apparently, not all countries celebrate Halloween. It's always hard to know the differences in different areas, but I don't think we have any specialized Canadian holidays, though, that are different from the States. I mean, the States have more than we do,
Don't
but
we have a holiday dedicated to maple syrup?
no. I mean, we have one for the Queen, but now the Queen's not around, so is it for the King? I don't
Ugh,
know.
hope not.
I don't know much about the King yet.
All right, come on, let's do this. Let me get a green check. Ah, where did it fail? Oh, God. I'm having a terrible day, everybody. I'm sorry.
I don't know. This is not that bad. I remember in the AWS Cloud Project Bootcamp, I'd have hours of videos trying to figure one thing out.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. This is nothing. This is okay. You're doing great.
Thanks.
The only problem is that people can't speed through it right now.
Yeah, I know. Well, hopefully they can see how absolutely annoying this is whenever they start doing the OPA stuff. I'll admit, this is a huge reason why hopping on the tacos bandwagon, like our sponsor, Terra Team, is a really great idea overall versus building it from scratch. Building it from scratch can become a huge pain. Now, if you've got the people around and you want to save long-term money or whatever, I think it can be a great idea to build this type of stuff out with GitHub Actions. But, you know, if you have a small shop and you just want to get things done, there's no reason why you wouldn't go and use one of the lower tiers of these tacos and getting things kicked out and focusing on what's important, deploying. All right, infra cost, policies passed, and this is an old comment.
But I mean, you said this,
All
like,
checks is
obviously
passed.
people had a lot of troubles with this. So, I mean, it's good that we're getting through this, right?
Yeah,
Because it's clearly not straight, like, it's not hard, but it is very finicky, right?
right. And that's kind of the thing. All right, let's take a look. Terraform plan, which did pass, set up OPA, run OPA tests. Okay, and it ran it, and then
People
Yep,
might not know,
all
but
good.
in Canada, there's a big war between Ontario maple syrup and Quebec maple syrup. We don't care about, what is it, Vermont that makes maple syrup? What's the one where Bernie Sanders from? Maine?
Yeah, that's Vermont,
Vermont or
Burlington,
Maine?
Vermont.
So we don't care about their maple syrup, but like the people in Quebec like insist that their maple syrup is better, and it is. There you go.
Is it?
But it's just the
Isn't
fact they
there
bring
a
it up so
maple
much,
syrup
you just want to give them a
mafia
hard
or
time.
something? Is there a
Pardden?
syrup mafia?
I mean, like, I think it's very controlled, like diamonds, you know. But you
Yeah.
know, I honestly, I think maple syrup does like they have different. They always have like A grade of maple syrup, but honestly, it's all marketing. Basically, there's just different hues or colors, and all taste the same.
Is there conflict syrup?
You mean free conflict syrup?
No. All right. Yep. That was kind of a rude joke. Okay.
I didn't get it, so that's okay.
Yep. So anyway, we've seen how to do OPA here. We've seen how finicky it can be. We've passed around, you know, basically what it came down to was OPA here, just having access to the plan. So if you do want to split this off, you would split it off into a separate workflow. You can, but it does need to get access to that plan. So however you do it, you're going to need to pass that plan. And then basically the next challenge, of course, after we wrote the policy, was to make sure that it actually exited. An OPA failure doesn't provide an exit code. You've got to tell it that this broke. And if it breaks, to fail to check. And to do that, for really anything that you're doing, you can just tell it to exit one if there's a problem. So anytime a workflow provides an exit one, that is a non-zero error status, which means that it's going to break the check. So if you're preventing a merge based on this check, this will ensure that that merge doesn't happen. Now, of course, if it goes exit zero, basically means there is no exit, no exit code, and it's just going to continue. So that's kind of how we did this here. That was most of it. We've used the Rego playground, used just a sample Terraform plan here, but you could also, of course, output that plan within the action. Let me see. I think we did that here. Yeah, we've outputted it here. It's a little nasty, but you can do that. And then, of course, we also played with it within the CLI. Now, I've deleted OPA because I accidentally committed it to a large file. I just got rid of it. But if you install OPA, you can run and test all of these OPA things right here within VS Code. And as we mentioned, there were a lot of extensions. We don't have any recommendations, but there are several extensions that might make life a little easier for you. And then the very first thing we did using ChatGPT to try to write OPA, you'll see there's a lot of issues with it. It's not pretty. So it's probably better if you were able to train your AI somehow by passing in extra context or something to help it understand the right version of OPA you're using, etc. So I think that's a fairly good summary of what has all just happened. What do you think, Andrew?
Yeah, I'm just glad we're done because it was so tedious.
Yeah, incredibly tedious. So I think that's a good spot. I don't want to try to build anything else in 15 minutes. I think my brain would explode and everyone else might fall asleep. So I'm thinking we head to the Q&A a little early. We're going to have Malcolm, who has been a huge help through this whole thing.
Super helpful, yeah.
Yep, we're going to have Malcolm come on to the Q&A as well. He is with TerraTeam, terrateam.io. He's built this entire Terraform collaboration software from scratch in OCaml, which he will love to talk about till the end of time. And so he's seen a lot of this. He's talked to a lot of people, and he has seen these workflows. He's built these workflows. He knows how much of a pain these things can be, and he'll be more than happy to answer any of your craziest questions about real-world stuff, as well as just how to get your own pipeline working. So we're going to go ahead and move over to Discord and get that going. Anything else, Andrew?
No, I'm pretty excited to get into the Q&A and catch up with everyone and see how everybody's doing. And I'm now well rested. I had that mini nap.
MiniCamp
mini nap, and so I'm in our mini boot camp, and so I'm ready to go for Q&A.
All right, let's rock and roll.
Check
See
out.
everybody over there.
Adios.